My name is Ryan. I'm 37 now. But what I'm about to tell you happened in 1987, when I was just 11. If you've ever lived in Indiana, especially near Hawkins, you might have heard about a radio station that only broadcast at night. No DJs, no ads. Just old music, sometimes movie clips or strange, staticky recordings. Frequency 97.7 FM, officially unregistered. It didn't show up on any map. My brother and I called it the Ghost Station. It was August. We were living in a trailer near the woods, just outside Hawkins. Our parents worked nights a lot, so it was usually just me and Joel, my older brother. He was 14 and a total electronics geek. He built a radio receiver out of parts from a broken cassette deck and an old TV. We'd catch all kinds of interference and signals on it, talk to truckers, even pick up police chatter sometimes. It was awesome. One night he picked up something weird. Around 2:40 a.m., I couldn't sleep. The heat was brutal. Joel was at the radio and suddenly called me over. "Ryan, get over here. Listen, this isn't a normal broadcast." A very quiet melody was playing, like a lullaby, old-fashioned, like from a record. Somewhere in the background, someone was crying. Then, crackle, and a voice. A woman's, but odd, like she was way too close to the mic. Hoarse. "He's still here, under the floor. He can't die as long as you're listening." We looked at each other. Joel even started the reel-to-reel recorder. The voice came again. "You have to turn the lights off. He doesn't like being looked at." Right after that, music slammed in, psychedelic, overdriven, like the player was about to break, and then the signal vanished. We figured it was a prank, like military waves or hams pushing fake transmissions, but a week later it happened again. Same broadcast, same frequency. This time the voice was different, a man's. Dry, emotionless. He just read a list of names. Brian, Eddie, Corey, Linda, 14, 15, 16. Each name came with a number. At the end the voice said, "Ryan, 11. I flinched. Was I the 11th? From then on it got even stranger. Every night on 97.7 there were different signals. Music played backward, children's laughter mixed with screaming, or just dripping sounds, like from a cave. Joel and I started recording every fragment. He kept a whole notebook. The Ghost Station log. We called it Broadcasts from the Other Side. We thought it was funny. Until the night the signal didn't shut off. It stayed on. It was a Friday. I remember exactly. 3:17 a.m. We'd already turned the radio off. When suddenly, the speaker popped with a knocking sound. 3 short taps, 1 long. Like Morse code, but not the normal pattern. We thought, short circuit maybe. But the knocking repeated. And again, and again. Joel went to cut the power completely. Right then, a whisper came from the speaker. "He's awake." That's when it all went bad. That night we both had the same dream. We were in the woods behind the trailer, but everything was inside out. Trees black, sky like oil, the air thick, and underfoot. Radios grown into the ground. From all of them came the same voice. If you can hear him, that means you're part of it too. The next morning Joel was different. He didn't talk. He sat in front of the radio for hours without moving. I asked what he was listening to. He wouldn't answer. Then he started talking in his sleep, in the radio voice. I wrote one of the lines down. "Under Station 27, where the wires are charred, that's where it came out." The next night the radio turned itself on. The reels started spinning on their own. Joel was asleep. I was alone. I heard a voice. Not through the speaker, in the room. "Can you hear me, Ryan?" I froze. It was my voice, but I wasn't speaking. "You're in the wrong place. You're in the wrong reality. Ryan 11. You were supposed to stay on the other side." I ran. 2 days later, Joel disappeared. He just walked out of the trailer at night and never came back. The police searched for nearly a month. They found his receiver deep in the woods. It was covered in something, organic, like cobwebs, but with veins, like meat. It was still broadcasting, very faint. 11. Wasn't supposed to stay. 30 years passed. I live in another city now, far from Indiana. I have a family, kids, a job. I burned the old tapes, but sometimes, when I can't sleep, I turn on an old FM radio just to make sure that the frequency is gone, and once, last summer, I heard it for a second. 97.7. The voice said, "You know they didn't disappear for nothing. They were the first." If you made it all the way to the end, then you're exactly the kind of person I'm looking for. Hit that subscribe button. It really means a lot to me. I hope I can keep bringing you more stories, to make you smile, or maybe, to scare you.